Just their size and athletic. They're very, very big, but for guys that size, they're all very, very good in space.
Has anyone else stood out as a vocal leader to you that maybe has surprised you this season?
Dev, I think Dev was last year, but it's been cool to see him take the step. Not just with the defensive line like he was this past year, it's been more with the entire defense. And Eugene, I think those two guys.
I know Lincoln talked at the beginning of the season about relying less on the transfer portal this year, and I think if you just kind of look at the starters on this team, it seems like maybe less than normal that there's been a reliance on that. I wonder if you notice like an impact that has had on the culture maybe of this team, or kind of the differences you've seen since that strategy change.
Yeah, I think the more programmed kids you can have through high school, the better, just because they're doing things your way. That's the only way that they know. And then when you do go to the portal, it's important to make sure that you're getting guys that can elevate your culture, which I think we've done a good job of this past year.
How are you feeling at this point of the season about the depth of the secondary? I mean, Kennedy stepped up, had a breakout game kind of, or at least a breakout moment.
Yeah, we feel good. Regardless of who's in the game, we always tell the guys the standard doesn't change, and we give our backups a ton of reps in practice. We two-spot a lot, so when they go in games, we feel confident that they're going to execute.
What is the biggest difference between the youth and the secondary, between now versus the beginning of the season?
Just the reps, all the reps that they get. It's not just the reps in practice, it's the walk-through reps. When guys just get all these reps, you just see them getting better and better and better, but you don't always get to see them apply it on Saturdays because they're not playing. So when they go out there and finally get a chance to play, it's exciting to see it pay off.
For Kennedy in particular, where have you seen him take the biggest steps this season?
Communication and just being more assertive. He's very smart. He knows the defense, but kind of like Kamari was, he would just kind of just keep it to himself. And I just think the more he's been out here, been around the guys, he's just been more vocal.
How important is it at this point in the season to have a really strong scout team? Because, not only are they helping to prepare, but if injuries happen, they might be looking at us behind the depth chart too.
It's huge. You play a lot of different styles of offenses, and they need to mimic that offense the best that they can, from the offensive lines, the receivers, the backs, the quarterback. So the better look they can give us, the better we're going to play on every Saturday. So it's huge.
Sorry if I missed this at the beginning, but what stands out most about Oregon's rushing attack and just those running backs and whatever?
Like I was saying earlier, it doesn't matter what back they put it back there. All their backs have the ability to make a big play. They can all create, break tackles, they're good in space. They use them in the passing game as well, and they really just make you defend the entire field.
What would you say the strength of this year's USC defense is?
I think so far, I would say I think we play hard. I think we attack. I think we need to be more consistent. But I think that's gotten better. We just need to continue to have the next play mentality.
Coach, Lincoln Riley said that the Iowa win was a culture win for you guys, but how have you been seeing the culture being implemented into the defense, especially the last couple of weeks?
You see it when the things that matter to the staff start mattering to the players, and it's not just us that's enforcing the things. When the players start enforcing the things, you can tell that it's really starting to work.
What was the biggest difference as you saw for the defense in that second half that you feel like will translate to a full game, like with Oregon?
Just execution. They went out there, they were flying around, they were executing. When something didn't go their way or our way, I feel like they had a next play mentality. And regardless of what happened, whether it was a good play or bad play, just line up in the next play and make them do it all the way down the field.
You spoke last week about how this time of year is kind of like being in the NFL with single elimination games and whatnot. So is there any other comparison that you can kind of draw right now between college football and the NFL?
No, I would say at this point in time, it's really just that. It's every single game is a very, very important game. You win, you're still in it. You don't, you're out.
Let's do one more. How would you evaluate the impact that Anthony Ruckus had on the game against Iowa?
He had a great game. It wasn't perfect, but he did a good job affecting the game in the run game, setting the edge, playing well against tight ends, and then his pass rushes continue what we should do.